In 3, 2, 1, 0, -1, -2. All right, we're live. We
What's
got
up?
Felonious Devonious, not in America, K. And then we've got Brian some Irish name. So Brian is some,
Makakich?
yeah, Makakich. Yeah, for sure. Yep. And so Brian is an advisor on the film Reveille, and don't worry, we're not going to be spending the whole time talking about Reveille, the short film. But
So
Brian and I
for
have
the
been
next
talking a
2
lot.
hours, what's your part in the movie?
My part?
Yeah.
Well, I have a little role in it. Actually, on film as a German machine gunner or machine gunner assistant. And then I will be training the actors along with Mike. And yeah, so those are the 2 roles, and also being an advisor role. So just helping fix a lot of little things. And yeah, it's been very fun.
Be very fun. So
Well, you got an hour and 59 minutes yet.
So, yeah. So I think you guys have talked about Reveille a bit in the past on here.
Yeah.
Like Michael Akerman, the director. Have you had him on yet, or?
Oh, yes.
does a Tin Man have a sheet metal cock? Like, let's be honest.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been talking to Mike since about February, because I'm also an independent filmmaker. I shot my own World War II short earlier this year, and a little documentary and things, and I'm involved in a few other projects at the moment. And so me and Mike really met over the internet. He was asking questions about really random niche stuff that nobody would know about, like what they would keep a Coleman stove in, because during the Second World War there was a squad stove called the Coleman 520, and I actually have one out of reach, so. But and he asked on a forum, like, what would they carry this in? And a bunch of reenactors didn't know what the hell he was talking about. And I knew exactly what he was talking about. So I told him that, those were carried a lot in German gas mask canisters from the war. And he was like, oh, that's really cool. And that's kind of how we got started talking. And then he sent me his script. He showed me his, I showed him mine. And that's kind of where the whole relationship started.
It's not gay if you don't smile. So like, what he just said, like, I showed him his, he showed me mine.
So, yeah.
Like, yeah, it was fun.
Oh gosh, that sounds pretty gay to me. No, I'm just kidding.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then unfortunately, I met Brian because Michael was like, "Hey, yeah, here's the guy that, like, knows his shit about World War II and everything," and like I brought him as an advisor, and I'm like, "Okay, fine," and then started talking to him, and it was like, this guy is a grade A piece of shit. And he's from New England, which is even worse.
Even worse.
Yep.
Yeah.
At least I'm not from Wisconsin, though, or Maryland.
Fair.
So I'm happy about those.
Alabama, the North.
Well, yep. Right. Yeah. Exactly. Well,
any state that touches both Michigan and Illinois is a dumpster fire.
Yeah. I mean, up here, like the Alabama of the North, the closer kin, the deeper in. I mean,
yeah, right.
It is. We don't play banjos up here.
Oh, sorry.
We play beer bottles.
No, you just throw cheese curds at things and make noises.
Yes. Well, that's true as well.
Fair.
Oh, God.
Yes. So. Yeah, is Devonious wearing a Kekistani Special Forces blouse? Fucking 4chan and Reddit. I wish they would never fucking existed. It's just like the rotting of the young minds. The rotting of the young, like, because here's the thing: when you start posting shit like this, like what he just commented, you are no longer an individual. You are just becoming an amalgamation of some other big, stupid fucking organization, and like this culture that doesn't exist in real life. It really doesn't. But you're doing that, and you don't develop a personality along the way. That's the problem. You sit there and you regurgitate shit that was typed, and you're like, oh, for the lulz. Like in real life, somebody meets it, and you're like, oh, I can't make eye contact. Oh, I don't know how to do this. Oh. And it's like, well, what the fuck are we doing here? What are we doing?
To be fair, Mike, before you get bent out of shape, this is a Kekistani field blouse.
Picture Flora, though.
All right, good stream, guys. All right, we're gonna. Yep.
Oh, come on now. But
yeah, I mean,
for all
I got my finger on the fucking. I got my fucking finger. on the hot
a
button.
bunch of random shit on a VKBO field blouse. So
yeah,
I got field marshal epaulets on though. So
yeah, you would make a great field marshal
Captain Keck.
because you don't know what the
Captain
fuck you're
Keck,
doing.
exactly. See,
Captain Keck. Well, that's Field Marshal Keck to you.
that's right. Field Marshal
sorry,
Keck to you. Yeah. So-
Captain and Field Marshal are very different. You go to Gulag.
yeah, that's right. I
I
hope
will
you
say,
like
though,
mining
Digit
for
Floor
lead
is
with
the
your
worst
bare
fucking
hands.
camo.
So, yeah.
Give me some VSR 93 up in this bitch or TTS go.
Are you drinking fucking maple syrup with Everclear in it out of a fucking mason jar?
No, I'm not.
It's
I'm
molasses.
having a Cubata, which is basically gin and Coke with lime.
Oh no! What are you
It's a real
doing?
drink, so it's a real drink.
Oh Jesus
To some people.
Christ! Oh,
I like
God.
it because Coke's got all the botanicals in it, and gin's got all the botanicals in it, and you mix it together.
Coke, the
Yeah.
botanicals you mean by corn, like high fructose corn syrup, right?
Well, for your
That's,
Coke,
you know,
maybe.
botanicals. Oh, where you got your Mexican Coke, so it's still it's sugar.
Even sugar, bro.
Well,
Yeah.
like there's also like Coke isn't just cola nut; it's got other stuff in it.
Like cocaine?
No, that's actually a
OG.
false statement. It used coca leaf extract before caffeine could be synthesized, so
Mm.
it was a cocaine. Well, the coca leaf extract was used as a caffeine
So
extract.
you're a live stream of doing drugs.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I can. Is that allowed to be done on live stream? I know we can't show
Nope,
anything fun,
it's
but like,
not.
you can't do drugs on live. Well, fuck.
But also you never admitted to it because you just went, cock my mouth. This you'd never really explained.
Sorry,
like,
Mike. My
what
brain
it-
is a little fried on Coke here. Give me a break, all right? It's tough being a
Coca-Cola.
Kekistani field marshal, all right? Give me a break.
Well, that's they got to
So-
keep drinking that Coca-Cola.
Yep.
That's right.
Yes.
It's actually a real drink, though. I wish I was joking, but it is a real drink, and it's actually
Gin
fairly
and Coke,
popular.
man. Honestly, like come on with that.
It's actually a really popular drink in former like Dutch colonies. So
Yeah, it's because they're fucking bankrupt and they still have gin. Like
yeah, but they also have Coke, like everywhere
Meanwhile,
else
in Java.
in the world. So
yeah, but like okay, so here's the thing. I mixed Coke with a lot of things back in my heavy drinking days, right?
yeah,
And gin was something that I never did it, but like I don't know if that's a good combination or if
I
you're just
love gin.
drinking
Gin's
it
probably one of
because
my
it's
favorite
it's
drinks.
because what?
Gin's probably one of my favorite drinks. It's like
Yeah,
pine needle.
gin, but like so gin with Coke.
Yeah.
Let's be honest here. Does it taste good, or are you just drinking it because
No, it's actually
it's a
really
drink
good.
somewhere?
It's a real drink. So they actually complement each other very well. So
Pine needles and Coca-Cola.
yeah,
What kind of gin? How about that?
it's Hendrix.
Goslings.
Oh,
Hendrix.
you're drinking the cheap shit.
Hendrix is not cheap. So,
It's not great.
no, it's like mid-range,
It's,
but it's not cheap.
dude. With gin, you either drink the expensive shit or you don't drink it.
An
Like,
expensive bottle of gin is like $35, and a cheap bottle of gin is like $20. So there's
Right.
not a lot of leeway in that.
So spend the extra 15 and get Bombay Sapphire minimum.
Life's
Beefy.
too short for cheap
Bombay
drinks and
Sapphire is
booze.
cheaper than Hendrix.
Well, then why the fuck didn't you get Bombay Sapphire?
Because I wanted to try Hendrix.
It's not great.
I mean, I actually like it.
Bombay
For
Sapphire.
different reasons. Bombay Sapphire is not as heavy on the juniper; it's heavier on the other botanicals. But gin is Hendrix is really heavy on the juniper.
Yeah, so you like pine needles because you're
I do like the real piney gin.
you're
yeah.
a fucking fascist. That's why. So
Yeah.
let's
Well,
just
I
be
mean-
honest here. Well, that's communist. That's not well.
No, these
You're
are
getting your
capitalists. Like
ism-
this is a capitalist uniform.
You're getting your isms messed up, Devin. What the fuck is going on?
my
That's
isms,
communism,
like
it's not
what?
fascism.
I could be
Communism,
either one.
fascism, Nazism.
Left hand, right hand. So,
So speaking of fascism,
Well,
Brian,
that sounds right in.
out
But it's
there
a
in
real
Connecticut-
drink, and I'm not joking about it. You can look it up. It's a cubata. It's lime juice and Coke.
Cool.
and
I
shit.
will probably never do that because it sounds
All right.
fucking awful.
It's
So,
not
Brian,
for
speaking of
everybody, but I
fascism-
quite enjoy it. I
Sorry?
quite enjoy it.
I said, Brian, speaking of fascism, how's it going in Connecticut?
Hey, you know, depends.
Yeah, how's the East
what
Coast?
you want to deal with. Sorry,
How's the East Coast?
it's better than Midwest.
I don't know about
How
that.
so?
Food's better, except for cheese. Well, we do have Vermont cheese, so
That's
I guess
fair.
that-
Vermont cheddar is pretty fucking good cheddar.
All right. So Henry's here. We're gonna talk about some cool shit for a bit. Brian.
I love Henry.
just like New England.
No, he's from Texas. So
Henry's
Yeah.
from Texas.
Oh,
That's all right. I like Henry. Henry's great.
what the shit?
Uh,
I had him and his shit
Henry's
freezes
figuring his stuff
immediately.
out. He's all right.
But it
This is
immediately,
what
like,
happens when you
freezes.
live in a state that's off the grid.
Yeah, Henry's like,
well,
I'm in a surf shack in Mexico right now, and my internet's not that great. I don't own a cell phone. Oh, there he is.
Yeah, I'm on cell phone right now.
Oh, he
There
is
you
on
go.
his cell phone.
There you go.
So he's
Yeah.
actually not Jesse Ventura. So, all
what do I call it?
right. Conspiracy squad.
That's part of the grid. Come on now. Oh god.
Hey guys, how's everyone?
It is
Good about
going.
yourself?
I'm doing well.
Henry, you're lagging like we're trying to watch some porn site in 2002.
22,202.
Yep, exactly. Yeah.
What
Yeah,
year is this?
it's not the best, man. We just moved. We just moved, so I'm still trying to get a whole
Yeah.
bunch of the stuff squared away in the garage. Because there's just shit everywhere. I need
File
to get
cabinet.
stuff organized before I could do work.
I guarantee you my
Yeah.
name and information
Like the
is
last
on
2 weeks,
some
just like
folder
last 2
in
weeks, I
there.
haven't been.
Oh, shit. Sorry. Yeah, lagging really bad, man. I'm sorry. I didn't want to talk over you.
Yeah, hold on, let me see.
Yeah. Try to make it better. Brian, you watch Nine Horror
If I
Reviews? You ever see that
Oh, yeah.
channel?
Yep.
Kill the
Yep.
cam, is it?
It's
If I kill
better,
the
but
We
it's
can
cam,
hear
not.
is it any better?
You just fine, yeah.
Yeah, it's still pretty laggy. Like, it's not great.
Ah, shit. Where's Devin?
He's here.
I'm right here.
I don't see him.
What?
What do you,
I see a black
Ow.
screen.
Oh,
oh gosh.
Henry, this ain't great. Like, this is.
This is not good, Henry. Yeah.
It isn't working out for my side. Let me see. I mean, I was really hoping to get some of this stuff work. I'll pop back in. I could probably stay on for, I don't know, like 5-10 minutes or so, I guess. If that's the case.
Yeah.
I was trying to like do 2 things at once.
Well, you're trying to do about 10 things at once. Like, let's be honest here.
Yeah.
Let's
But,
be
like,
fair, yeah.
It's been,
yeah.
it's been the suck the last couple of days. Let me. I'll pop on the actual computer that's.
Yeah,
got
yeah, no
Ethernet
worries.
connection.
You get the link. If you need the link again, I'll send it to you. We're good.
Well, that was Henry, everybody. Welcome to the stream. So, darn, I like Henry.
So, yeah.
He's a good dude.
I like talking
Yeah,
with more
no,
people. Who've
yeah.
been, I really hope he's doing okay, man. I really hope with all the like shit that's going
Yeah,
on with the pullout of the fucking longest armed conflict in U.S. history.
Well, he, like a lot of other Afghanistan vets, are very frustrated.
I'm
and,
very
you know,
disgruntled about it. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's, I mean,
Say a lot
So,
about it, but sad.
yeah, I was telling him about like the shit with Iraq and like the guys that I wanted to come over here and contacted the embassy, and like they were like, no, well, there's nothing we can do and whatever. And so it's just a repeat of that, but like there's a lot more news coverage, and it is a lot more fucked up in certain ways than Iraq
Yeah.
was. But it's like, I mean, the U.S. government does this shit all the time, and It's not great. It just
They keep getting away with it, and I'm glad the media is bringing it to light. So,
A very good friend of mine was military intelligence, and he was at a military intelligence school on 9/11, and they watched it on TV, and they stopped shaving that day, and he was one of the 12 strong. So I've known people that have been there for 20 years. So it's just crazy to see it come to this, and it's horrible, but is what it is. It's like Vietnam. Like what these guys are feeling in 75 and 76. I know everyone's talking about Hanoi, but it's like just exactly the same thing.
I feel it, I feel it. It's bad to watch, in the headlines, and this is kind of like Vietnam too, where people that have been in this since the beginning, there's people that weren't even born that died in this conflict when it's, that started before they were born,
Well, Vietnam, that wasn't the same thing. It wasn't that long. It wasn't
55 to 70.
Mike almost got involved in 53 before DMB and Fuso, technically, but
50. Yeah. I would say 59.
Fair, 59.
CIA
like
on
a large scale, like
actually sending more troops, but yeah,
like 59, like sans a couple of people, like which it sucks.
Well, the first real casualties in Vietnam were in 59. I think there was 3 guys that were killed in a mortar barrage.
Right, and so I would say 59 to 75.
Yeah.
And so it's like that's going to be pretty hard to find somebody that was born before that went there and did that.
True. This is an excellent book, by the way, on the beginning stages of Indochina and the Vietnam and American involvement. Came out a few years ago, and it's excellent. I read this in like 2 days. It's like 500 pages. It does a really good job of just talking about the whole backstory to Vietnam and everything. But
perfect. I just got done reading one that's all from like the French perspective, from like 45 to 57.
Yep, very cool. Algeria and Indochina are cool from the French perspective because it's all like World War II vets. It's like this guy was on prison, and this guy was wherever, and then they want to have the prestige of France, and then they push what they were experiencing in France on other people in their colony. So I
love how, like in the book, they talked about all these people that used to be in the German army in World War II that got pushed into the French service to escape like war crimes and crap like that are fighting in Indochina and stuff like that. Yeah. And I thought that was really weird because it was such a common thing that they talked about over and over again in the book. So
there's only one case of SS soldiers being in Indochina. It's actually cool. I'm actually kind of working on it for a project, but so they know about it because basically this guy was like a French Jew, and this SS guy killed his family, and he found out that he was in the French Foreign Legion. Nice. And he ended up joining the French Foreign Legion and getting transferred to that guy's unit in Indochina and killing him.
Good.
And they actually went through a whole tribunal and stuff. And they're like, "Why did you kill your commanding officer?" And he's like, "Well, he murdered my family." They're like, "You're good." And they let him off. It was a big huge thing. So that's the only known case, though, of like an SS guy being in Indochina with the French forces.
Wait, are you telling me the French military isn't pushovers?
Aren't. Like, let's not get technical on the English, I guess, but like whatever.
Well, what was that guy's name? Torney,
Lowry Torney?
Yeah, Lowry Torney. Yeah, I mean he was Finnish SS.
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
So technically, I mean, if you really wanted to mince it, I mean, Finnish SS isn't SS, but he still has the bad lightnings on the side.
Yeah.
Bad lightnings.
The bad lightning.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I like that. The bad
lightning. Have you seen the skit Are We the Baddies?
Yeah. That's great. It's a skull on our hats.
I maybe have.
Are we the baddies?
Yeah.
You've been listening to Allied propaganda.
Yeah.
Well, right. No, but we've got skull on our caps.
Yeah.
Pretty funny.
I guess I'll have to watch that. Jesus.
There's that Monty Python skit too, where they have Mr. Hister is the neighboring apartment, and they go to say hi to him, and he's like has a map of Stalingrad with Himmler and everybody there.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, Mr. Hister, you're planning a hike? Stalingrad, that's a bit far away.
Yeah. Oh god.
Fucking hysterical.
Jesus.
Yes, they had a Muslim SS unit, the Hanshaw unit, who was from Bosnia, actually. Just fun. Yeah. They wore fez caps, and their collar insignia was not the lightning, the bad lightning. It was the scimitar.
Yep.
With a hand on it, and it was very interesting. And Brian, were they not a mountain unit?
I'm not sure. The SS had one Gerberg unit, the 5th, I think.
The Vikings?
I'm not sure if they
weren't.
were as well, but no, they weren't
No.
the 5th. We're talking about one of the first 9.
Yeah.
Was
Yeah.
SS
I know they had one. They had one like mountain unit, but like the Hansha, they were. Yeah, they were like a very popular unit, and they were trying to battle Yugoslavia at that, or they were trying to like
Tito
battle
and
that,
Partizan,
and, like,
yeah.
And so yes, I did know that there were Muslim SS guys.
There were a ton of crazy German volunteer units, like the unit, or like
the Indian Legion.
Yeah,
the ones who wore the Sikh wraps.
Yep.
And then they wore the bad lightnings too.
The bad lightnings.
The bad lightnings. Yeah.
I had Turkestan troops in my movie for Ostruppen, so that was kind of a neat thing because it's very common in Normandy. I actually met a second armored vet who he took a bunch of them prisoner, and they were so happy to see him. It was a pretty crazy experience.
Well, it turns out the Nazis are all inclusive. Who would have thought?
Well, especially post Stalingrad, scraped the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, it turns out they don't discriminate. Weird.
But a lot of those guys
Well,
PW camps, so.
Well, I mean,
Devin,
we're not about to get technical, but here Henry might know something.
Okay, maybe the one thing, but like
Devin again,
Okay, but yeah. Oh,
You
God.
choose Mauthausen or Ostruppen.
Oh god.
Did you say
Diversity and
Mauthausen?
inclusion.
Yes.
It's
Oh, God.
Mauthausen. Oh my God.
Well, my grandmother said Mauthausen, and she's from Austria.
He's from the East Coast. We're lucky we can understand him, okay?
What the fuck you guys talking about? You fucking.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
He's from Connecticut. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Like,
Yeah, go play with some
Okay.
teams, kid.
They speak all right. That's fine. That's fine, yeah.
it's like a fucking freeway between New York and Massachusetts. Like, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, it's like there's a invisible line where the Yankees team, is a baseball team is supported, and then the Red Sox team is supported. You don't know where it is though, but when you cross it, you kind of know.
Is there a lot of fights
Somewhere
over
between
that or
Stanford and
something?
Hartford.
Yeah. Oh,
If I only
God.
gave more of a fuck about professional sports,
That's fair.
only gave more of a fuck.
What?
I'm
You're not
a
into the
fan,
U.S.
but I-
curling team or anything like that?
Oh, no, Henry, how big are you into professional sports in the U.S.?
the dog's bum's showing.
Yep, fair enough. Fair enough. That's exactly it. Like, that's exactly. We're on the same page,
Yeah.
Henry. We're on the same fucking page.
Oh,
And no,
geez.
it's fucking great. But
Oh.
yeah.
I mean,
So Henry,
I know there's the national leagues, of course, national hockey leagues, and of course, I know of the existence of these things.
but you couldn't give two shits.
Depending when I was in college, depending which girl I was trying to
There you
hang out
go.
with, I'm
you go. That's a
flexible
good
on
reason.
my
Hang out
interest level.
with translates to bang. Like, let's
Which-
be honest here.
My wife doesn't really care about it, so I'm like,
No,
for me, I
in
don't
college,
really
yeah.
care. I've never really, English Premier League. I grew up in Hong Kong, so that was pretty big when I was growing up. But after that,
Hong Kong have a sweet baseball team though?
no, that's
Japan.
the Japanese. The Japanese are crazy about baseball.
I thought Hong
Nobody
Kong had a
else
really good
likes
team, too.
baseball.
Oh,
Yeah, nobody else in Asia likes baseball but the Japanese.
Right.
Weird.
But in Hong Kong, it's the English Premier League's big, and then the rugby's big because there's the Hong Kong Sevens every year.
The British
Rugby's a brutal goddamn sport.
Yeah, I mean,
My
people get really upset. Like, some people get really upset during the Hong Kong Sevens when all the, let's say, all the, how can I put this?
Let's
Well,
not
it's
make
like
it
I shouldn't put it any other way. All the belligerent teams from all the Commonwealth countries when they attract all the rugby fans to the Hong Kong Sevens, and they are packed full. There's a few districts of bars in Hong Kong. This like the biggest one is Lan Kwai Fong, that's where all the European and foreigners hang out. There's like fights all over the place during the Sevens.
Weird.
And then I mean, just people get bloodied over nothing, and then the shops get really upset. I mean, same thing. Funny thing is, in Hong Kong, back when the U.S. Navy used to do port calls a lot more often in Hong Kong, there would be some shops that some bars and restaurants who distinctly would close early to avoid sailors going and wrecking shop.
To avoid Americans from breaking shit. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's like
that's the funny is like there's a lot of people that I've met that are like, that whole drunken sailor thing, is that really a thing? And I'm like, having known some actual sailors, it is a thing. It does exist, and it's true.
Which they also have fleet marines, by the way. So
that's even worse. That's even worse. Because they're like, we're not cool enough to wear the serving tray in our pants, so we're going to be more insecure about that and go and raise more hell.
Well, I mean, they're also all like 17 to 20-year-old,
right? Yeah,
that have been stuck on a boat.
18 to 24-year-old guys
for how many months? Yeah,
are the worst. Like 18 to 24-year-old guys, which we all were, and we were the worst.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like you are the worst at that age.
Yeah, because you're trying to impress your friends.
And I'm an adult. I'm an adult. I can do whatever I want.
You don't really know how to really impress people, so you kind of like draw a lot of that from movies. Like you're supposed to be doing this, so you go out and get blitzed, and then you wreck some poor bastard's bar or restaurant, and then run off.
Some poor lady's China shop in Hong Kong.
It's just like
I have to pick this up in the morning. You don't. You're gonna be sleeping off a hangover, and then you're gonna go and drink more the next night. I have to pick this all up, and you damage my goods. And
see you tomorrow.
Dude, look, I was one of the older LTs when I was in the army, because I finished my master's before I started my commission, and yeah, I know, right? Like,
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Especially being in Germany, like whenever I don't know why, but for some reason, once you're outside of CONUS, you kind of think that rules don't really apply to you. So a lot of our PFCs definitely took that to heart, and so dude, I've just picked up, a few guys from the drunk tank, and it freaking sucks, man. It's like, I don't know. Like at first, it was kind of like, you're like, oh yeah, like this is like, don't do it again. But then, like the 20th time is like, Jesus Christ, like,
well, and you're an officer.
How many Article 15s are going to take care of it?
You're an officer, so you can't yell at them. You can't like chew them out like an NCO. Then you're just sitting there going, fuck, really?
Pull your pants up. Let's go.
What are you doing? Like,
wait till the safety brief.
Yeah.
Dude, and being like an older LT, like there's some other LTs who are actually like 20, 21 years old.
Yep.
And so you're just kind of like trying to shield some of that from all the other soldiers, so you don't see like this happens in the officer corps as well.
It's
trying to set a good example, but it damn well happens here too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think the big thing is like being older doesn't mean that you're more responsible. Well, it's somewhat yes, but being older is also that you've kind of been around the block a little bit, and you kind of know when to be irresponsible, so people don't freaking see it, or you don't freaking get caught. Or you don't damage a whole bunch of stuff to where you have to admit to it.
So it's not more responsible, but held more responsible.
I think it's both. I think it's knowing when to appear to be responsible.
Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we had a lot of in the infantry. We had a lot of green to gold guys that were like E4, E5, E6. Then they went to college, went to OCS, and those officers, you could tell when somebody really fucked up, they were sitting there going,
They can't. They used to be able to, and they can't.
Yep. They're like, nope, that's okay. But I'm going to talk to this NCO that I know very well because he was my team leader, you know. And hey, now he's at E7. He's a platoon sergeant. Go ahead and take care of this guy. You know, and that guy would get taken care of. Mark my words, it did happen. But it's like I could see how like it'd be very frustrating, you know, as an older officer, especially like an older, newer officer, I should say. And you're going, oh God, I wish I could yell at you and do something to like make you realize you need to stop fucking up.
Well, you can't. Well, so you can't. I mean, so one really good case study that I think most of us have seen, Band of Brothers. Not just the book. I'm talking about the actual like on screen. So I think once you see it on screen, it's a lot more apparent how some of those officers and enlisted react to each other or act. And I think they did a pretty good job at portraying how some officers just like to bark orders. I think the one episode I'm thinking about is when they were all in what was it called? The when the Wehrmacht launched its offensive
Battle of the Bulge.
Battle of the Bulge. Yeah, there we go.
Yep.
You remember that one episode in the Battle of the Bulge where Winters was trying to find a good PL or a good officer to lead the offense. And he was like, this one guy, all he does is just yell at people like he's an NCO, which that doesn't work because you're ineffective. But then on the other opposite of that end, you've got the guy who just kind of chills out and runs off whenever something comes and just lets the NCO take care of everything.
Case. Yeah.
Well, right. But I mean, what I'm saying is like, I think a lot of times it may not be as extreme or it could be that extreme, but I think that's a pretty good case study on sort of the worst spectrums of it. I mean, you can't be Jello, of course. You can't be Jello and just let your NCO take care of it. Like there are cases where, you'd be like, holy shit, CO never yells and he fucking got lit.
Right.
Whatever that happened, right? Like you could hear it through the CO's door.
Sure. I should probably clarify. Like, in my unit's SLP, it was the officers could not smoke the guys. They can do remedial PT, as we call it. But you know what smoking is. And they could yell, they could do this, but they couldn't actually like carry out the punishment that was deserved themselves.
I would say this: if you are an officer and you're smoking your dudes, you better be able to catch up and smoke yourself while smoking the dudes and smoke everyone to death and still be able to continue on.
Right. And
if you are an officer smoking the people.
That's a very rare thing.
Yeah.
Yep. That's a very rare case. Is like it's usually what I saw most of the time when I was in is the officer would be pissed off and like completely fucking like, okay. He'd go and talk to the first whether it was our CO or our XO or our PL, respectively, they would go talk to the senior NCO that they were working with. They'd be like, this is not okay. This needs to get fucking taken care of right now. Okay. And bam, it would get taken care of, whether it was an individual thing or a unit thing, and then bam. That's how it goes. And the officers were usually not the ones yelling. And I've seen officers yell, yes, and that's not fun because you go, something's very wrong here. Like something's not good.
It has to be pretty bad for them to yell.
If they're yelling like an NCO, that's not a good thing. Like something is fucked up. Something is like just not whatever. But anyway, very rare. And usually I just saw what I just told you. And that seemed to work itself out good. But it wasn't just the officer saying, well, this is your problem. Platoon sergeant, this is your problem. First, it was get this done. I'm going to observe because they were watching the whole time that this was happening.
Yeah, look, I mean, this is like we go like for hours on a live stream trying to talk and bore absolutely everyone out because literally you spend years trying to develop new officers and then years to train them into what you want them to do. and then actually give them a company to command. I mean, it's,
Right.
And then they
I mean,
have to
it's
get
not-
used to the company and train into the company and understand the
Yeah.
inner workings and get to know the people.
Yeah.
And
So yeah, it's all very situational. It's all very subjective to whatever.
But honestly, though, like company level leadership, I think is pretty awesome. I mean, if you understand, as a fresh officer coming out, that you're gonna screw up at some point, and you can own up to it and not screw up bad enough to where you get relieved, then I think it's pretty awesome time for personal development.
for sure.
Dude,
I
hey,
had a lot of really
Devin,
good company commanders. They were really nice.
Devin, so Mike told me that you were in the Canadian Army.
Yes.
You were over in Afghanistan as well?
Mm-hmm.
What days? What days? What year?
Well, that would have been 2012, 2013. So
Same with me. Where were you?
I was mostly in Camp Nathan Smith. So
Where's that?
that's in Helmand City.
Oh, wow. Okay. I only
Yeah.
I didn't get to go to Helmand. I just stopped by Bastion for a really short mission. But
No,
I actually
spent
worked
2 weeks in Bastion, and then they deployed me down to Helmand, which is the primary Canadian base, was Camp Nathan Smith, and sat down there most of the time for cleanup.
freaking that. Yeah, because no, that's why that's my deployment too. I mean, I was there as one of the first efforts to retrograde and clean up what we had.
For
and
sure. As you know, 2012, 2013.
We were leaving in
pretty much
14,
everyone
right?
was either packing up or thinking about packing up. So
Yeah. And hey, we're turning things over to the Allied ANA, so to deny enemy access to equipment. So
when we did that in 2014, we were like, "Hey ANA, this is your base now. Name it whatever squiggly name you want. We're out of here." So And
I hung out with a good few Canadian officers when I was in when I was in Bagram, because I used to get missioned out all over, but like whenever I was back at CP, it was at our headquarters, it was at Bagram, and there was like a bunch of French Canadians.
Oh, goddamn Quebec! I hate Quebec so much.
They're Quebecois. Yeah, they're Quebecois. But I was one of the three officers around there that was able to speak some French.
Yeah.
So
I
freaked them out too, because they were sitting there at the DFAC, and they were starting to talk about, because they just got in country.
Yeah.
And they were like complaining. I forgot what they were complaining about. And then they saw some guy I forgot what it is, got some type of food, and they were like, "Where'd you get that?" And then I just lazily responded in French. Like I was just like this Asian LT sitting in the corner next to their table, and then I just said, spoke in French. "Oh, down the aisle to the right, you'll see the guy with a beard with it." And the entire table of Quebecois looked over, and I was like, Asian dude in a U.S. uniform, just responded back to them. They're like, "What the fuck?
What are you talking about?" That's just the French people. They're so judgmental, though, and the people from Quebec are the same way. They're so in their own world because they're better than everyone because they're French. So
I think the big. So I actually worked with the French detachment in Bagram too. That's where I got to shoot the FAMAS for the first time. Is because I was really good friends.
I believe you told the story at a pastry about how you got to go to their officer bar to have a few libations.
Yeah. Wow. Let's say yes. We were not supposed to. So
for sure, which is
But
really cool.
Henry
could be seen
Henry
there too because
yeah.
they get invited.
Henry definitely didn't disobey General 1 Bravo, and he did not go and drink with.
Yeah, that's why I said
forces.
mayhaps.
Right,
Mayhaps.
he definitely didn't do that, and so we're all in the understanding that Henry followed General Order 1 Bravo to the nth degree.
Yeah, it's the
YouTube.
same way like how I didn't acquire an A&A Special Forces uniform that was hanging in the gym for a week.
You bought it on eBay. You bought
So,
it on
yeah.
eBay.
So-
Nice.
I never
Yeah.
sent vodka and shampoo bottles to my buddy in Bagram either. Never happened.
Yeah, no, that shit in Listerine bottles. The Listerine
Listerine
white,
bottles is the way to go.
Listerine bottles is the way to
They're
go,
bigger,
yeah.
and yeah, I mean, Listerine bottles is like nobody ever got alcohol. I actually didn't, but like I don't know of anybody who did. KBR guys, contractors, soldiers. I never knew anybody who got alcohol through Listerine bottles of the opaque type. Never knew that.
Here's the thing. You know, if you are, it depends on your understanding on supply and demand, right? You know, so if there is a demand for such things, and you decide, okay, how am I going to supply this? I'm going to have my buddy send it from overseas in Listerine bottle with my name on it. Now you're tracing yourself back to that. However, if you are friends with foreign troops who are not under General Order Number 1, let's say the Poles, the French, or
Basically everyone.
or civilians who get to R&R every 3 months and come back over from like Dubai or something, and you know, you kind of work through, let's say, a bartering system, your name's not tied to that.
No, you just
and that never happened.
end up with stuff
You
somehow.
always
Yeah.
have plausible deniability. Always.
It never
tie
happened
yourself to
because
anything.
everything is so locked down tight. Everything's so locked down tight. That never happened. So
Yeah.
we're good. Like, yeah.
What is this sitting on my cot that appeared out of nowhere?
I've just got allergies. That's why I'm a little, you know, like a little toasty around here.
My
That's why I
eyes-
sound stuffy.
yeah,
I've got allergies.
my eyes are a little bit
Flushed.
puffy and red. It's because I have allergies. Yeah, I'm not
Yep.
getting used to this scenario.
It's
Yeah.
in that one
Full
time I
all-nighter,
sat
yeah,
next
yeah.
to an opium field, the Air Force set on fire, and the wind changed. So-
Dude,
God.
I remember this one time. So we weren't supposed to drive the field grades vehicles unless we were, you know, either their drivers were there or whatever. But we were also, so our NCOs dealt with all the keys and you know, all sorts of stuff. And by the way, these are base runners, so these weren't Humvees or anything uncomfortable like that. I don't know how they arranged it. No.
Oh,
They somehow found a Series 90 Land Rover Defender, like a beautiful white Series 90
What?
Land Rover Defender. Yes, for VIP transport. I have no idea how the supply guys like made that happen, right? And so I was working with the guard people, and we weren't supposed to use any of that type of stuff. But I remember that night he got yelled at for some Red Cross message that didn't come through. And for those out there who are like, why is a Red Cross message so important? So like if a soldier has an emergency and the American Red Cross passes a message across, by law, you're supposed to get that message to the soldier without any delay. Like if someone passes or if there's a family emergency, things like that.
yeah.
And so Red Cross message was supposed to come in, but it did not come in. But like our detachment commander was this super jumpy guy who hated anything that was like an asterisk on the PowerPoints. So when there was like incoming Red Cross message that hasn't come through yet, he like flips out and yells at all the junior company grade officers.
What are you doing? Yeah.
And we're like, why? He was like, why didn't you pass it along? Well, it's like, sir, it says it's incoming. Like literally,
It's
we
not
don't
here
have
yet.
it.
Yeah.
Like, I could generate something, but it's not going to be. It's going to be a Henry Chan message, not
It's
a
going to
Red
be like,
Cross
hey, there
message.
might be something wrong that you need to worry about, maybe.
Yeah. So I mean, so like
FYI.
that. Yeah, the active guys were used to dealing with people's freakouts and like bullshit like that. But then the National Guard guys, I mean, they're like,
Oh, it's fucking
Yeah.
nasty girl pieces
yeah,
of shit.
I mean, they know each other, so they're not used to someone like just freaking out without any long-term consequences in the unit, right? So he's like, Chan, what What am I supposed to do? I was like, I don't know. I'll sit here with you to kind of wait for it to come in. So it was like 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. local time. And like, we're just watching videos in the detachment headquarters. And finally it comes through, right? And we couldn't find freaking any of the keys around. And of course the NCO holding the keys was like racked fuck out, right? And so we knew where the VIP mobile keys were. So we're like, dude, fuck it, man. It's like, just drive it over there. Like, what's the worst that could happen,
Grab
right?
it and
So
come back, yeah.
we ended up driving it like round and round and round Bagram. I don't know like how many times, like probably 3 or 4 times, because like once we got over there, we got some message saying, like there's a part 2 coming in, and it could only come over through the zipper side, the secret side or whatever. And then we had to like come back all the way back over there and deal with some BS, and then get all the way back over to where the soldiers were. And so we ended up like, I mean, Land Rovers are not like your Camrys. I mean, it's not very fuel efficient. And
no, they're chunky. They're big.
So yeah, so it was obvious that we burned some fuel in the commander's car.
Oh yeah,
and freaking
it's like Ferris Bueller's Day Off. You could just sit there and like have it on spin. Like, yeah, it's obvious.
Yeah, so like we knew like the freaking rat of a commander's driver would rat the shit out, and then like all sorts of questions would go on. And so as my buddy was inside the headquarters dealing with like more transmissions and stuff, like I was like, dude, I'll take it to the fuel point. I'll get it refueled. Fuel points like bitching about all this type of stuff. So, like drive up, and then I was like, fuck it. Like you're not supposed to do this. Like we had Afghans, like local nationals at that one fuel point, but I told them like, just, I'm not signing anything, step aside. Cause I didn't want, again, paper trail. Right. So I took
Mark 19
like,
didn't sign for it.
Yeah, so I took the little nozzle and I threw a couple of jerry cans in the back, and I just like squirt like 10 gallons in the back of it, and I was like, I'm out, man. Like local nationals were like, okay, bro, whatever,
they
bro.
don't care as long as you look like you know what you're doing. They don't care. Yeah.
So I got back to the headquarters, and I was like, what the fuck is that smell? It's like
oh
no. That smell?
Oh no,
dude. I hate those Scepter gas cans, man. Like those old school jerry cans are awesome because like once you pop them in, they are locked. They do not go anywhere. But of course, of all the jerry cans we could use, Americans get these like twist cap Scepter jerry cans.
Right.
And it freaking turns out I grabbed the 2 that the NCO pulled the freaking seal, the little seal off.
Oh,
like like on the inside of the cap.
Yep.
So
Jesus.
I freaking drove for like 20-25 minutes with it, like, and this is like on base in Afghanistan. So I was like, rum. And I wasn't taking my time to get back there. So like, freaking like, I opened the back of the Land Rover, and fuel is like drizzling, like falling out to the back. I'm like, Yo, bro, Anthony, we're pretty fucked, bro.
yeah. Did you get caught?
So, I ended up finishing like refueling it, and then like I threw away the 2 jerry cans because I didn't want anyone to find like jerry cans that were covered in JP8.
Oh Jesus! Where'd you throw them? Okay, never mind. Too far. But you got rid of them. Okay, you got rid of them. Yep.
The Polish compound.
Because I knew the Poles, like, if they found American jerry cans, fucking Polish dudes would like just keep it and not ask any questions. So like I threw it into the Polish compound.
I know, yeah. Well, like 3 jerry cans. All right.
They're like,
what's the deal? Yeah.
Man, bro, there's American jerry cans here.
yeah. It's only missing 1 seal. Yeah.
Yeah. So I got rid of the jerry cans, and then of course the gas is in the JP8's in the vehicle, and we delivered the message, and the two LTs, as stellar LTs as we were, ended up the next 2 hours with freaking like Simple Green and mops.
Oh,
like,
Simple
trying-
Green.
trying to
Simple
clean-
Green.
158 out of the back of a Land Rover. Oh,
Jesus
It was
Christ.
so bad. It was
You're
so
fucking-
bad.
Dude, you were privates. You were privates. Trying to cover up a fuck up.
Oh my
this-
God. How
no,
did I get
This
here?
this
What
brings
sequence
this,
of events led me here?
So,
yeah,
so
this whole thing that you just said confirms what we were always told as second lieutenants and some first lieutenants.
I
are
was not a
private.
second. I was not.
I
a
said in
butterfly,
some
my
and
friend.
some first lieutenants. I said in
We
some.
learned how, no, both of us were first Louis, and we learned how to cover this up. So
Oh, so
the next morning,
you're increasing the percentage of first Louis that I'm talking about. That's what you're just doing right now. You're increasing that number.
you're
Butter
just
virus
moving
kit.
it from
Henry.
first lieutenants, Henry.
So
Your privates, your private first classes leading privates. It's like a retard leading the blind.
it's,
Like, let's be honest here.
it's just a little bit of a fuel smell. It's not going to kill anyone, man.
Yeah,
it
but
turns
you
out if
guys,
dump enough Simple Green on it, it'll be fine.
you guys you acquired a vehicle. You went out with this vehicle that you were
A very nice vehicle.
and then you acquired another. Sure, and then you fucked up, and you spilled fuel JP8 in this vehicle, and then you tried to cover it up like privates would. We're bridging the gap. It's
I
good.
mean, would it be better if I had an NCO and a private help us mop it up? No, of course not. They need their sleep. They don't need to know about these things.
Well, they were just
So-
laughed and been pissed. You know,
So
they've
the
been
next-
like,
small.
No. These things, the less ears we have, the better. So,
right,
anyways,
right. It's
Sure,
anyway,
that's the whole Land Rover in the Polish
mafia.
compound.
well, so the night ended for us. The night ended for us when the sun was coming up, and
Oh, that's fun. Yeah.
yeah, it sucked. But at that point, we left the windows open as much as we could, and just
Air it out.
basically we were like doing Simple Green, ring it out, try to Simple Green it as much as possible. But we got to a point where everything was. Hold on. We got to a point where it was put together, and then we put the keys exactly back where it was, because before we took the keys, we took a photo of the keys, so we knew how it looked like it laid.
Exactly how it looks. Yeah.
This
Like
is
taking
I
a
love
page,
how, like,
covering your footsteps.
I love how
Yep.
This
that's
is really-
the perfect part of the story for me, was where it's like, I took a picture of the keys because the military has taught you that you will be fucked by something
Right.
that small. So you have to take a picture of exactly how the keys are.
Kaiser
This is
Soze.
smart private behavior.
We've
This is
written
smart-
Article 15s. We know how that
no
stuff
wonder
goes
why
down.
Henry's a
Oh.
first lieutenant. He took a picture of the keys.
So we
Oh,
end up
Jesus, that's excellent.
we end up cleaning everything as much as possible, and then basically going back to our hooch, changing into our PTs, and then showing straight up to do unit PT with the men, and it was like nothing happened. We delivered the message at that point. There was no change in the fuel gauge, so no worries there. It was just the next day, the NCO was like, dude, I think there's a fuel leak in the commander's vehicle. Like, whoa.
Wow, weird. Huh? Weird.
Interesting.
Well, better get on that.
Yeah, and that's
Get
what
on that.
got away with it. Yes. You know,
You know, like I remember too. I will not tell anyone this gentleman's last name, but the guard dude, like when the NCO came up to me and said that, he like straight looks at me. I was like, "Yo, Sergeant, I don't know when you headed over to maintenance."
He
God.
knew. You
my
guys pulled
Oh,
off.
shit.
You guys pulled off straight E4 mafia shit.
Yeah, that's like
You
you
pulled
gotta
off.
be in a while to pull that kind of crap off. Holy
You
shit.
pulled that off, and you were officers. I'm genuinely impressed, Henry.
That's why they're
genuinely impressed.
officers, Mike.
No,
That right there.
No.
So later on, after like a month of it being in the shop, they determined they couldn't find the leak.
Well, that's weird.
And sent it back to us. At that point, the commanders had already been using the we had a Land Cruiser and a Land Rover. She started using the Land Cruiser, and then that sort of de facto turned into the VIP mobile, and the Land Cruiser turned into the second one. So yeah, I mean, for the next couple months, it smelled like ass in there. And nobody wanted to drive VIPs with it.
Distinctive smell to it too. So
it's a mix of JP8 and Simple Green.
Oh, that's not good. That's not good. That's not great. Like that's
get some sun on that with some closed up windows a little while. And,
yeah. Oh yes, that's right. That's right. In the Afghan heat too. You're right, Devin.
Yeah.
Right. Doesn't help. Well, I mean, it helps the evaporation, but like it doesn't help the smell.
The windows are all fogged up, but it's not water; it's evaporated GPA.
Like, when trying to like wipe it off with their hand,
like,
it's
guys.
Like grease. It's like, oh shit, what's going
Somebody's
on here?
gonna walk in there and light a cigarette. The windows are gonna blow out.
Well, I mean, that's not gasoline. Well,
no, JP8's like, well, JP8's like a cross between gasoline and
it will light, yeah. But I mean, we at that point we like diluted it enough, right?
But how flammable is Simple Green when mixed with JP8? Did you test that?
It's not going to light anything up. It's Simple Green.
Yeah, but Simple Green and JP8
it's a detergent.
Could make like
Simple Green and JP8. You could have probably classified another element.
Yeah,
you know.
I'm sure guys at the motor pool have tried to huff that stuff. So.
Yeah, it turns out that's how you make hydrazine.
That's why I was for a month. They didn't find the fucking leak. They just got it every day and just huffed that shit.
Yeah,
dude. Honestly, though, I know how motor pools work too. I mean, I was an ordnance guy, so I mean, freaking, they didn't find a leak. Means they looked at it for like 15 minutes, and it sat for like 2 weeks, and they didn't want to deal with the paperwork, so they didn't find the leak. I mean, that's probably
they just threw some cardboard under it, and we were like, there's a fuel leak, and like, well, we'll leave it here a few days, and if there's wet cardboard, that means there is.
Yeah, I mean, it's highly dependent on your motor sergeant on how good of a job he
Motor
does.
T guys, they do great work. They get vehicles moving again after they're seemingly dead.
Yeah,
but it's like, I mean, do they really have to move at the rate that a civilian mechanic does? No. No.
I don't know. Hey, that's a discredit to some civilian mechanics. I've seen some of them move pretty quick.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm saying is like, do they have to move as quick as that? No.
Not in the government, that's for sure.
Yeah, and Motor T guys they have their little shop set up, and more power to them. I love those guys. They
had more than their fucking hands full.
They bitched a lot about us blowing out engines on the up armored Humvees, the 1115.
Well, 1115. So
1115.
Sorry, no. 1151s.
51s. Yeah, that's the up armored ones.
That's the up armored Humvee,
yep.
And then the M998 are the really old ones that we drove
from
in
the 80s.
Yeah, and so like the up armored ones, like they would bitch a lot at our unit about us blowing out the fucking engines because it was either no gas or pedal to the metal. And
it's a 190 horsepower engine pushing a crap load of armor.
And guys, and ammo and all that shit. Yeah.
And the turret.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I mean, people don't think about this, but freaking ballistic glass is heavy as crap.
Yeah, not to mention
one of those windows weighed
water.
And this is one of those windows. Like I think they were like a foot and a half wide by about a foot tall.
And they open like this much.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, no airflow at all.
Yep, it's just like fucking ridiculous. And those things alone weighed like half as much as I did.
Yeah,
that
those
one
fucking
window.
acrylic panels suck ass.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ, Cody.
So the
I have to let the dog out to take a fucking piss. I'll be back.
I was supposed to do a video on. I've got to go soon in a bit too.
All right.
He's just like walked away. Oh, he's got shorts on.
Yeah,
Nice.
he's got a pee. So
classic like Zoom call.
Yeah,
Okay.
he got nothing from the waist down. Yeah.
But the I was doing a video on some of the stuff that we lost over in Afghanistan, but I decided not to push that. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like a right video to push right now.
No, it's maybe down the road when people kind of.
Yeah.
I know you're probably like me, and you're kind of flip flopping on how to feel about this right now.
It's not right now.
No,
quite
it's
frankly.
not.
I mean,
terrible.
we should focus on us, like the guys who were there, the guys who are still there, and stuff like that. Like,
Kit, people still there.
Yeah, like the crap load of kit that we lost. Yeah, I mean, that sucks.
I try to break it down into how many paper clips do you think it is?
Well, so talking about the Humvees, it's the press has made a really big deal about a lot of the stuff that we lost, right?
Yeah.
But the one principle behind a lot of American kit that we use a lot is it's really good if you could maintain it.
Yeah, I tell people that all the time. Everyone's like, the M4 is so great. And I'm like, no, it's a pile of dog shit because it needs a 10-mile-long supply train to keep it running.
Well, the M4 is small arms are inherently going to last more, though. But when you're really expanding that to the point like your ASVs, your Humvees.
The grand scheme of things. Yeah.
Right. The Humvees are a pain to maintain. But then you further expand that to Blackhawks.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know if these guys have. I don't know if people out there generally I am not an aviator, so it's not something that I. Oh, I've got to go soon. But
all right. Without being maintained, they're flying. That's how Blackhawk works.
Yeah, I mean, they have to. Those blades have to be tuned quite a bit, and I mean, it's just like every single thing. But then, even if you dial it back, are you really going to take a 4 mile per gallon up armored Humvee, freaking trancing around Afghanistan with no tire supply, and going through poorly maintained dirt roads? Again, with no logistical train behind you. I mean, what's really more likely they're going to make a lot of use of are the waves and waves of Ford Rangers that the ANA and ANP left.
Yeah,
like that's more likely.
They're already using. Yeah,
right. And the massive amount of those things, the parts that could be cannibalized, the much higher fuel efficiency of the Ford Rangers is far more useful for someone who has low maintenance capacity and has to traverse in a highly mountainous terrain.
For sure.
Or over long distances in the South where you were, over long distances of wide open desert land. Yeah. I mean, there's no way. The Humvee is just not a good vehicle.
It's not an economical vehicle without the supply train behind it.
But it is prestige points. And it is propaganda points that they could absolutely harness. But those are things that I was kind of like, I mean, that's like stuff that I was tossing around my mind, but it's not right. I mean, right now it's not right.
No, it's not. And people ask me the same thing too. They're like, well, they got all these helicopters and stuff like that. I'm like,
wow.
We purposely didn't teach the ANA or anybody in that country really how to fly those or how to work those or anything.
They did. They actually know. They actually know how to fly, especially the Mi-17s, the HIPs. They know how to fly the old Soviet Mi-17 and Mi-8s very well. That was actually their preference.
Yeah. They did have an Air Force back in the 90s.
But once you get off, look up the desertions as the Taliban were steamrolling through. A lot of the Afghan Air Force guys actually deserted up in Uzbekistan and Tajikistan. They just like freaking dumped their Blackhawks. Like they just showed up overnight, like on an airfield, like, hey, like a bunch of dudes piled on their back.
Well, yeah, you see all the guys, like you see all the like propaganda pictures they're taking afterwards, and you could tell the guys who were trained by like coalition forces based on like how they're holding their weapons because there's no figure of safety and like how they're carrying themselves and how their equipment is set up and stuff. And it's like, Well, that's pretty obvious.
Yeah. So
Well, it's the same thing I was telling Hunter earlier. Is like I've been telling you, Devin and Brian, like the pullout of Iraq is the same shit. Watch on the news, like all these guys taking over. They have A4s, they have M4s, they've got Humvees, they've got MRAPs,
leaving in like a minute.
and they're all sitting there like this. And I'm like,
Definitely
that's interesting.
people. Yeah. Yeah, and you just see how they wear their like chest rigs and stuff like that too. It's like this is people are very obviously setting their gear up just like how they were trained, you know.
Correct.
And it wasn't by Taliban; it was by coalition forces.
Yeah, and it's like, it's very frustrating to see that and go, okay, yeah.
Yep.
Hey, I was supposed to pick up a power washer from my in-laws.
Uh-oh.
What are you wearing?
It's like
what are you
super
wearing,
domestic.
Henry? What are you wearing?
I'm wearing this like gorgeous Swiss blouse that I got from a nice boutique store up in.
I'm glad he says blouse, and I'm not the only psychopath that says that.
Well, that's the correct terminology in the supply,
I know it is,
supply
but nobody
chain.
else knows it is.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what we called it. Yeah, you gotta go.
Sorry, I've got to go. I'm getting I'm just like, where are you type of thing. So.
Where are you? All right.
I
Henry.
promised it. So I'm like way over time.
No,
frame.
it's all good, man.
That's all right,
Yeah.
Henry.
Thanks for showing up. It's good stuff talking
Yeah, man.
to you.
It's always a pleasure.
Hey, try to feel better about everything.
Yeah,
we'll talk about that topic a little later. It's been disappointing.
Day at a time, as they say.
It's definitely not a good thing. It's not a good feeling. But all right, Henry. We'll see you later.
Take care, gents.
Peace out.
All right.
All right, so Brian, how was that whole like hour where you didn't say anything?
No worries. Again, both of you guys, and Mike's rolls his eyes, but thank you for your service. I didn't get a chance to serve due to some crazy things, and I was going to go OCS and stuff, and half my friends served and stuff, and they were there. 14,
And again, I'm glad you didn't.
I'm
glad you never got put into that shit.
I tell you,
well, now I know green media and stuff, but
it's a nightmare.
Regardless, you
Yeah,
signed the contract, you did your time, so thank you very much. And it's just
no
dealing
worries.
with that and processing, what's going on. So, and I've been involved with military stuff and museums my whole life, and I'm just listening to vets. I just know when to shut up. So you just
it's cool to learn. Like I shut up most of the time too, and it's like, well, I like Henry's. I was never in Afghanistan, so like I don't know. I had a lot of friends who were and everything, but like I was never there, so I like to hear what everybody has to say. And what's funny with Afghanistan is like there's so many years that people were there. I've talked to guys that were there in 05, in 01, 2012, and then a couple of years ago, and it's like it's a very different experience, but they all the same thing. Is like we're never going to change anything there. Like what the fuck?
Yeah, they don't want change. They want to be left alone.
It's interesting to kind of like throw a historical perspective into this. Like, let's say a movie like Platoon. You'll have 5 Vietnam vets watch it, and one of them will love it, and the other 4 will say, that's not Vietnam. Well, the war was so long that every tour, every deployment was different, and we're going to have the same discrepancies with Iraq and Afghanistan vets because they have their war memories, which are different from other people's war memories.
And that's why I was glad when I posted a picture of me in Kuwait in 2009, before I went to Iraq. I was glad that on this reenacting group on Facebook, they corrected me on what I was wearing wrong. And I was really glad because there's people that are on top of this shit and that are experts and know how to portray this in the future. So
I always joke with that because like I've had veterans, World War II vets, fight over if they had double buckle boots in North Africa or like what kind of canteens they had, and they're both wrong, but they're fighting. So I told this to Mike once, and I'll do this to you, Devin. So you were overseas and you had a plate carrier in Afghanistan. Who made your plate carrier?
Yep.
Who made my plate carrier? The United
you
States.
Fucking wore it every day. You should know.
You
put it on. You wore it around. Who was the make of your plate carrier?
The United States. It was made by MSA.
I need company names. You put it on.
MSA. They also made my helmet too, so
it was a piece of issued kit that you wore because you had to wear it because you were in the army. You didn't care. It was something you used. It was a utilitarian piece that you wore and put down. So from a historical viewpoint of a reenactor, it's like, what do you mean you wore it every day? How do you not know exactly every detail? How many stitches did it have and stuff? And it's like
you don't give a
funny way to look at it, from that dichotomy. It's like, to soldiers, it's something you use. It's not something you collect.
Right. If you asked Henry which company made his plate carrier, he'd be like,
Yeah.
Probably
You
also
just need a break and have to pay for it, you know?
So yeah. But
So
well,
it's funny. You always get people like that. Like, you wore the wrong stuff. Oh, sorry that, this is exactly what happened when I was there in my war, but okay, dude.
sure. But like there's also a huge crossover. Like, and if people don't know, so 2001, Afghanistan literally got troops in 2001, like a couple days
October.
after 9/11. People were so that's back when, before the terrible UCP pattern was even out. People are wearing the old time Woodland with the jacket front OTVs,
very
and
common
sometimes
Iraq,
even
yeah.
Pezgets still.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then you see that transition to digital, and then you see holdovers even from the Woodland gear into when multicam is being issued. And so there's this conglomeration where you could have potentially 4 different sets of camo depending on where you are and what time you're there in Afghanistan. And then that doesn't even factor in the like 30 countries that sent people there.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, the 10th Mountain Division got to Afghanistan in late 01, and they all had DCUs and everything. And all the SF guys were like had a mix of Haji gear and like those they're not SOP mod, but like the raid modified DCUs, with the Velcro patches and shit. So really cool era of collecting if you're into that like me. But
for sure. Yeah, I got a set of DC raid mods that I also acquired.
I got a set or top at least for a raid or SOP mod DCU, and I got it at a surplus store. And the guy wrote his fucking blood type on it, like O+. And I went to buy it. It was like in a big bargain bin. I'm like, what do you want? Didn't have a price. And the guy's like, oh, it's got writing on it. I'm like, oh, I know. He's like, oh, how about $7? I'm like, okay.
It's all yours.
idea
Take
what
my
it was.
money.
Yeah, literally. It was like, oh, my hand's broken, but we're good to go.
For sure. There's a lot of stuff. Yeah, I saw a lot of the older uniforms because, like, on base they used to have a lot of the old uniform pieces and stuff like that from different people that like would visit, or like people that died, or stuff that was just misplaced. They'd hang up somewhere. And there's a lot of people that you see a lot of black Sharpie on uniforms, all over with blood types and names and stuff like scribbled on the inside in various parts in case you get like blown apart, just hoping they could find some portion of you, that was readable. You see a lot of guys write it on the outside of their boots, on the inside of their helmets, on their backpack frames, all over the place, because it was such a concern being blown apart, especially like a lot of the truck drivers and transportation guys, because me and Mike have talked about that before. Truck drivers and transportation guys just got fucking hit so hard, because credit to the Afghanis, they're not stupid. They're very smart. They know that if they kill the trucks and the planes, you stop the war.
Right.
So, and it really sucked being a pilot or a truck driver. So,
So I'm gonna go back to a super chat that Shetred 555 sent. What 2 military units you be curious to see fought? Okay, so what units would you have been curious to, or would you be curious to see fight? I guess, no matter what time
like
period they're
imaginary
from,
or like in real life that actually happened.
Well, he said, no matter what time period they're from and who you think would win.
Okay.
Interesting.
I know what I'd like to see something like that. A real historical part. The giant fist fight between the Australian Army and the American Army, known as the Battle of Brisbane. There's a giant drunken literal fight where there ended up having the MPs had to siege a shopping center because the Americans and the Australians were beating the snot out of each other like in the thousands in the streets of Brisbane, Australia.
Funny. That was a big problem because the Americans got paid more than the Australian troops, and they were off in deserts. It was
Yep. And I'm like, I want to see that because that sounds awesome. Yeah.
I would say that the one thing to bring back is the Emu Wars. New Zealand
the Emu
Wars. Who would win this time?
Lewis gun.
Vickers.
The Lewis gun's a piece of crap. They're made in America.
It's so good they took them away from the Marines in the First World War. That's how good they are.
No, they get the show shot and they'll like it.
It's 30/6 show shot at that.
The worst one.
No matter what time period and where they're from and who the
something with Wisconsin, right?
for sure. I don't know. It's kind of a stupid question because it's like if I could say like British longbowmen versus a fucking squad of U.S. National Guard guys from Wisconsin in 2021. Well, who's gonna win? Well,
Longwoman.
you think so?
Oh yeah.
Easily, hands down.
Yeah, right. But like,
Put cheese on the end of their arrows.
Yeah.
right. Yeah, I don't know. It's such a vague and like, I don't know. It's got to be more
I
specific.
got another one I want to see because I thought it would be really cool as like a historical tactical person. The Greek, when the Greek, what is it? God, what is it? The Macedonian phalanx versus the Roman testudo. I think that'd be really cool to see. Those
That'd
two
be
like
cool.
close knit armored fighting formations. That actually happened in history, but I'd like to see it in real life. So
Greeks
that'd be
in their
sweet.
prime versus Romans in their prime.
Well, it was when Rome actually went and conquered Greece. They had to go up against the phalanx, which was like the epitome of, for the longest time, like that is how you fought a war in civilized society, was in a phalanx. And the Greeks came in with like the overhead shields and the front shields and the tiny little short weapons rather than the big long spears, And turns out it's better apparently if you have tiny daggers and bigger shields than small shields and big spears. So
Pelums, man. Pelums.
that's right. Yeah, Pelums. Yep. So, but that's the two I'd want to see, I guess, the most actual historical fights.
I'm still going with emus.
Emus.
Emus versus Vickers.
There you
By
go.
proxy, New Zealanders.
Oh man, too bad. There's no guns in Australia anymore. We can't do that.
Oh, it's bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even out here, it's getting bad. I can't get mags and stuff, but way it goes. I can still get some fun
That's
stuff.
the way she goes.
It's the way she goes. Fucking way
I
she
think I have
goes.
more fails than Mike, so I have that.
Tonight she
going
didn't
for me.
go. That's the way she goes.
Yep, it's the way she goes. I get that reference.
Weird.
Fucking way she goes.
Way she goes, boys. Smokes pepperoni. Come on,
Yep.
go.
Yep, let's go.
It's like the most quotable show.
It is a very
Well,
clever
it's
show.
not because most people have not seen that show.
Yeah,
That's what you
nobody
keep your
knows
circle
about
small.
Canadian television.
Because most of it's fucking
Like
trash.
national pastime in Canada.
Pretty much. That is Canada. Welcome to Canada.
Yeah, man. Nova Scotia's so great. Fucking let's go to the trailer park.
Yeah. Oh God.
I think my favorite one's the garbage one, where they're stealing patio furniture.
Yep.
Like, when does it become garbage? Count to 10, Bubbles. Okay, now it's garbage.
Oh my God. Patrick Swayze.
Sweet.
One of the funniest things though, like I
Or
think,
carton
is like
cigarettes.
when like we first meet Phil Collins.
Yeah,
We meet
Philadelphia.
And he's like, "What do you do with my furniture?" And they're like, "What do you mean? What do we do with your furniture? Like it was out here, and like we should be, filing a lawsuit against you because there's no furniture in here." And then Bubbles is like looking at his gut, and he goes, "You're gonna my gut?" No. And then Ricky's just finally like, "Okay, fuck it. We're all looking at your gut. It's fucking huge. It's old news now. Like,
What are you
let's
looking at
move
my
on."
gut for? Yeah. What are you looking at my gut for? Yeah.
We're all looking at it. It's fucking huge. It's fucking
Is
great.
the Ball Kid episode where he gets hit in the gut with a bottle and starts burping?
Yeah,
Like,
burping,
oh my
yeah.
god!
I'm freaking telling.
Ball Kid,
Bro.
fuck.
Yeah,
Oh,
little intro.
God.
Yeah, they're in the kayaks. Yeah, because he's like, "Let me ask you something, Randy. What is it about Jimmy the Liquor?" Well, this is like he loves liquor. He loves the way it smells and the way it tastes, and he talks about it and whatever. You got some of those hypnosis tapes. They really work for a fella. Oh, Duck Phil Bottle Kids, and then it's like over.
Yeah.
They're in the kayak, and they're just like, "Shit."
Yeah. Oh god.
Favorite 90s comedy shows?
Oh, easy. Seinfeld.
You're one of those fucking mainstream pieces of shit.
I wasn't alive to watch it, but every time I go to the hospital or any waiting room in North America, it's fucking on. So I mean,
Yeah, so how about this? You don't have an answer, so shut the fuck up. Pretty easy. Pretty easy.
Seinfeld.
South Park.
Okay, whatever, yeah. No, South Park.
South,
okay.
yeah, also South Park, yeah. But can South Park really be considered like a 90s show? It's still
I
on.
think my
The
favorite
movie came out
90s
in
comedy
late
show
90s,
was
though.
Touched by an Angel.
Okay.
Were you touched by an angel? Is that what he at least told you?
No, Brian. See, this thing is like Devin didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. Like Brian knew exactly. He's like, just did the whole like, okay.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
My
Saved by
favorite
the
90s
Bell.
comedy show, honestly, was probably Roseanne. Actually,
Had a few good seasons.
That's not a bad
John Jones
choice
is
either,
amazing,
yeah.
So I mean,
yeah, Roseanne is like, yeah, it was like it was on and it was there. Cheers started in the 80s, but like it's my
It didn't
parents
really
watched
peak
it.
till the 90s. Yeah.
Well, I rewatched it and it's like, Frasier's a lot better than
Yeah, Frasier. I was gonna say Frasier's another really good one. Yeah.
yeah, Frasier. That was a spinoff, and like that was not bad.
No, Frasier.
We have
was
to be
great.
older
That
to
ran for
understand that.
forever
Like, you have to
too.
be-
Frasier
definitely-
ran for
yeah.
forever.
upper crust comedy or whatever.
Right.
Seattle.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, upper
Very
crust. Yeah.
highbrow.
Well, but you have to be like you have to be older, like in your at least your 20s, to understand the humor in there.
Yep.
And it is funny, but
It
like,
is funny. Yeah.
yeah,
Favorite
So
90s
I-
movie?
Frasier Crane here.
yeah, I would say Roseanne was the funniest.
Oh, whose line is it anyway? That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of a clusterfuck though. Like that was.
It was.
It's supposed to be though.
It was supposed to be, yeah, by design.
That wasn't necessarily a show. That was just a.
Improv session on TV.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
literally
exactly.
a televised improv session.
Right.
Darn.
Oh, the 90s.
Well, that covers the 90s. Welcome
Yeah,
to the
so
90s.
it's fun when you do a super chat. Like I can actually see what you're typing because like there's people just chatting away. Just throwing that out there.
The best movie in the 90s is Big Lebowski, in my opinion.
The
It's
best
a pretty good, yeah.
best comedy.
It's up
It's
there.
up
The
there.
Big Lebowski is actually a really, really good movie.
Yeah.
Yes, but like yeah, for comedy, yeah, I'd agree. I don't know if it's the best. I'd have to like analyze shit.
I'm just a film
We
nerd,
all
so
know
overall,
it's
I'll
safe.
go with
Big
it.
Lebowski.
Private Ryan.
Right. No, but obviously, like I sent Brian the picture of me as Walter Sobchak.
Yep.
I did it. It was amazing, and people were like, "You remind me of Walter Sobchak," and I was like, "Who the fuck is that?"
Yeah, who is that? Yeah. Oh,
And then I
God.
finally watched the movie, and I'm like, "Oh my god!"
You know nothing,
Yes.
Lebowski.
But Walter was right the whole film. Like he was right through
Oh, yeah,
the
he was.
entire film.
I can get you a toe. That's not her toe. What the fuck? I can get you a toe in 30
You jump
minutes.
by one. It's not easy. No, but like, hey, we'll get it done. Like, yeah, and you grabbed the Uzi. The Uzi. You think I was coming out here naked? Did you?
He's in his fatigues too. Like fucking.
Well, no, he was at an M65 field jacket and some
He's
kind
got
of
jungles on, I
pants.
think.
Nope, he does not. Guaranteed, go look back on it. It's an M65 field jacket. Garrett, yeah, like I'd be willing to do gentleman's bet of $1 that he's wearing an M65 field jacket.
Gentleman's
65
bet
on, I
of
think he has
$1.
jungles on there.
Gentleman's bet.
Well, I mean, to be
I don't-
fair,
I
the
don't-
M65 is born in the jungle.
Some made
Mm,
it to Vietnam, but who the fuck would wear that?
People
Right.
from
I did
So-
know a vet though that said he was in the Highlands and he said that they used to bring him on patrols because sometimes at night in the dry,
well, especially when the mist really comes in, on the mountains and stuff. Yeah.
But
Well,
Brian, you Googled it and it wasn't M65?
No, well, it's M65, but I don't know what's wearing underneath. I'll have to rewatch it. So the dollar will
Right.
be in the air. I'm too lazy to look it up. But to go deeper. But to say this though,
to add on to that, the biggest requested item by the Africa Corps in Africa were overcoats because it was so fucking cold.
Oh yeah, no.
Guys
When
were
you're in the
dying.
desert, like it's really really fucking hot during the
Well,
day.
it's always high pressure. It's like, Mike, when I tell people here, I'm like, you probably tell them too. Like, they're like, in the winter, they're like, oh, I want to see the sun so much. I'm like, no, you fucking don't, because it's going to be cold as fuck when you see the sun, because it means the high pressure front's moving in. I want it to be cloudy and depressing, because at least it'll be 30.
Yep.
I've actually never told anybody that because
I tell
it
people that
wasn't
all the
true.
time. Sun's
In
the high
Iraq-
pressure front.
In Iraq, that was not true because the sun was out most days.
Duh, because it's a high pressure front.
Right, and so it was on average like the whatever. Like when I was there, it was usually between 100 and 120 degrees Fahrenheit average, right?
And what to get to at
Dry
night.
heat, between 80 and 60 degrees Fahrenheit. That's a big
That's still pretty
temp
warm.
drop.
Yeah.
But
think
that's
it's
a
a big
60-degree
temp drop.
temperature swing, yeah.
Yep.
Right. And so at night it was like, that's what I told you the story. Like one time my roommate and I were sitting outside in, I think August, smoking cigarettes at like 2 in the morning or 3 in the morning. And we were bundled up. It was like 80 or, 70 degrees.
Yeah, because
Very-
you're so
very
used to
cold to
100
us.
plus. Yeah.
Right. And we're like bundled up and we're like kind of shivering. And this new group came off the bus from the airport, and they were like, their shit just sweating profusely. They're like, "Oh my god, how are you wearing cold weather gear?" And I'm like, "You just fucking wait. It'll
Yeah.
happen."
You just fucking
I'm
wait.
like, because about 12 hours from now, it's gonna be like fucking miserably hot. This is warm, but it's cold for us. Like it's gonna be miserably hot. And they were like, "Oh god!" And we're just sitting out there, like smoking our cigarettes, wearing our, winter beanies in winter PT gear and everything. I was like, "Okay, not a big deal." And then, yeah, they were like, "Oh, "You were right."
You're
yeah,
right. Yeah, of
it's-
course you're
It's a
right.
huge temperature difference. It's a huge. I mean, 60 degrees is like a lot.
Fair. But fun
It's like
fact,
those-
coincidentally, the number one requested item on the Eastern Front was also greatcoats.
I wonder, or Uber mantles. The mantle that goes over your mantle.
Oh, god.
Yeah,
It's
fun
like-
stuff.
Turns
in the
out
Gulf
Germany
War, they
could have
had
won if they just would have made more fucking greatcoats.
Yeah. They had those desert night parkas that, like, the cool digital pattern.
yeah.
They're
Yeah.
so warm, by the way.
Well, you're wearing
Well,
them
the-
over other shit.
Yeah. The other
pattern's
what is it?
worn.
You could use
by
the same liner, I
guys.
think, in the wet water gear too. It
It's
came
an
out from the
M65
70s.
liner will button into the desert night
Yeah,
stuff.
it's not long enough though for the desert parka, I think.
No, it only comes down to your waist, but the parka
Yeah.
goes all the way down to like your
Yeah,
back of your knees, basically. Yeah. So
that camo's like making a comeback. It's kind of crazy.
it
That's
actually works surprisingly effective in just like in an environment. Like if you just throw it out in the woods somewhere, it works surprisingly well.
Better than
But
ACU,
it
but
doesn't
that's a
do what it
low
was
bar
intended
cost.
to do.
Well,
So-
ACU, my friend, ACU is a cut.
Yeah.
I
UCP
don't-
is the
sorry.
pattern.
UCP. Sorry, I can
But
go
it
blend
is
to my
also the
grandma's
best
couch.
camouflage ever. So I mean,
Yes.
it's universal.
Yep, I wore it. I can attest to that. It worked great in Iraq. It worked great.
Oh,
Should have had
God.
T pattern.
Could have had T
In,
pattern.
in Iraq, no. In Iraq, it was
No,
very
it'd be
tan.
horrible.
Yeah.
Very tan. But D pattern would work good in cities in the U.S.
Just blend into the Bronx.
Yeah. So would a button
Blend
up
in
for
the fucking
Eating
Bronx.
The Bronx.
the Bronx.
No.
Brian's dad is from the Bronx, so he can do the accent pretty well.
Really? Oh, that's cool.
I'm talking about you.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Your name's Brian.
I can
What
speak
the
like
fuck?
from the Bronx if I need to.
Yeah,
That's all I'll be doing on set, actually, I think. We were talking about that.
yeah.
Mike's gonna
You
be
do
a
it.
Wisconsinite, and I'm going to be from the Bronx.
Yeah, I'm just gonna talk like I do, and I say some things that are really weird, and you're like out.
Yeah.
You
Say
know,
Creek.
Creek.
Damn it.
Yeah,
Draw.
learn that. Learn that.
Dog.
Dog?
Dog.
Dog.
Fucking dog.
What the fuck? My dog needs to go outside.
Your
Well, that's
weasel
your
hole.
fucking problem, kid. It's not mine.
Don't know what the
Mine's
fuck you're
snoring.
talking to me. Don't know why you're talking to me with that fucking tone of voice, but hey, I don't like it.
Started it, kid.
I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm
problem?
just going to tell you that.
Just
We got
like
a
your
problem. We have a fucking problem.
We do.
All right, let's settle this. Come on.
Wait till we get on set.
Let's fucking do it.
I'll meet you
My
at
money's
LAX.
on Mike.
Well, I'll also be the guy that's like, from Wisconsin, like, no, I didn't mean any fighting by that. Like, yeah, no.
I'm very
It's-
passive aggressive here, you know.
We're all good. Yeah. I'm just going to tell you that your
Go
accent
back to
sounds like
Manitoba,
you're
kid.
sucking.
What the fuck's that language?
Hey, you're sucking a big bag of dicks when you talk. That's all I'm saying. Not a big deal. Let's go over here. And we'll just work her out.
Yeah.
Okay?
Work her out. What the fuck?
You don't
Work
see
her
me
out.
coming into your place of business, knocking the dicks out of your mouth. It's
Right.
You're too
Well,
busy on your
Wisconsin's
knees
even
sucking
worse.
ones, though.
They don't have things like that. Like, they're so fucking. The
Nice.
Scandinavians are just so spineless. And so
they are. They're
fucking-
so spineless and
Oh,
bland.
Kind of got rid of their
God.
system about 1,000 years ago, so yeah.
Well, yeah, all the Viking raids were the epitome.
Slave
Of,
trade, yeah. Hey,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like at that point, like when those raids failed, like we're done.
Sweden is
Like, let's
tame
ju-
now, but not all they do is collect Cadillacs and American cars. We know that, but it's huge in Scandinavia. American 60s and 70s cars.
Yeah, well, the people up here, they're like, "Oh yeah, I just got a new
Honda
set
Civic.
of wheels right here.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a Honda Civic, and I leased her for $399 a month. Yeah, it's a
Whoa.
great deal. Oh yeah,
Leather?
no, this is real leather. They told me it's real leather, and yeah, it's $399 a month, and oh yeah, it's gonna be a great car.
I see the
Why
stitch in the plastic there.
Yeah, that kind of
Well-
looked like vinyl to me there, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but we can go for a ride if you so want to.
Well, really,
Go to
what,
the Cumberland Farms?
what's the old MPG on there here? Yeah.
Oh, the MPG, yeah, the dealer, he done said to me, he said it gets about 32.
Was that on the highway
And-
or in town?
I don't know. I didn't ask him. That's probably a question I should ask him. Realistically, like we're going out here and we're just riding around, and we're gonna go out here and just kind of go for a joyride, And if he gets 32 MPG, which it says on the computer right there, yeah, you see that, yeah, and
Does it have the True Coat on it, though?
a what?
The True Coat.
A True Coat. Oh, the True
Put on
Coat.
from the
paint?
factory,
I don't know what she's got on her
He's
for the
got
True Coat.
that
Fargo, the True
factory
Coat,
undercoat. Yeah, the
Exactly,
True Coat,
yes.
the factory undercoat.
Exactly.
You know, Mike? Yeah, the factory
another
undercoat.
question.
Yep.
Maybe I should have asked the dealer about this, but I just failed to ask the dealer. So yeah, I guess that one's on me, boys. But yeah, Devin, you need to go. You got a company
No, I'm
over
fine.
there.
No, I'm fine.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's signaling right now. He got to go.
What? No, I'm not
Yeah.
going.
Just when I'm
He's
getting
going.
into my
I'm not going.
just when I'm getting into my Minnesota and Wisconsin actual northern, native accent, you're just
Stay up there
you're
in the
about to go.
Northwoods, you betcha, yeah.
Just a pair of Canadians.
No. She's going. She's done with her nap. She's going. I'm staying.
See, you're doing a Canadian
I
accent,
live
and
here, so I mean, I hope I'm staying. So,
yeah, no,
Man, you have a really
that
good Canadian accent. You know that?
I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. I can't do North
About
Midwest.
time
It just
you
sneaks
take
back
some
into
credit for that
Canadian.
one.
God,
Meet you at
that'd
the
be a
Tim
real
Hortons,
shame.
okay?
It'd be a real shame if she went. It'd also be a real shame if Brian didn't start doing his Bronx accent, or what he says the Bronx accent. It'd be a real shame if he didn't do that.
Got a fucking problem, kid? Fuck.
I don't got no problems with you. I've told you this 1,000 times. I don't have any problem with you. I just want to talk to you about fishing and going out in the boat.
Have you ever been ice fishing before?
Yeah, you ever
that's
been
the thing
ice
that happens
fishing?
in the sound. It gets cold and it fucking freezes over. Don't walk on the ice, kid. That's fucking retarded. You want some
Well,
fish?
you've never
Go
been
down to the
ice-
fucking store.
No, ice
Devin,
fishing
my
is great.
Canadian
You
friend.
just pull your shit house out onto the lake and you drill a hole in the floor.
Sounds like a good time. We got a shit in my house. I don't have to go anywhere cold.
Devin, you're not really supporting me here, bud. But no, so the ice fishing, it's really like what we call it up here is we call it ice drinking. When really you're doing a little bit of fishing, you drill the holes, but you're really not doing much of fishing. You're just drinking, basically. And
It's an excuse.
when you're out there and you're ice drinking, you form a bond. And it's a really good thing. But God forbid somebody takes my goddamn car battery.
Yeah, my
and
car battery.
We don't have power. We don't have power for the night. God forbid. But that's only happened a couple of times. Really, it only happens a couple of times.
Somebody stole my damn car battery.
Yeah. This one time, this kid come over here, and he didn't even bother to ask. Stole my goddamn car battery. I was without it, and we went down there, and he denied it, and his friend denied it, and I found my goddamn car battery. I drug her up back here into the garage, and it was. I don't like people lying to me, and so when I put the goddamn car battery out there, I come back to the garage, and that was it.
At least
What
you
is
didn't
going
have
on?
the goddamn DNR coming out there to
that's-
make sure you're not
right.
getting too swifty on the ice.
No, that's literally though like stories these old timers will tell you. That's how they end. Is yeah, I come up here and I just I got my car battery back in the garage, and you're like,
And it just abrupt. Yeah.
yeah,
like,
it's
is
like
there any more?
it's like
You gotta.
what? Okay, that's a pity. Like, yeah, they stole
You're
your
like, that's
goddamn
it. Yeah.
your battery. Like, yeah, they stole your fucking battery. Like, and they'll be like, well, yeah, he stole my goddamn car battery.
Yep. And you can never
Oh.
stand facing each other. You have to stand parallel, but at a slight angle.
Yeah.
Okay, boomer.
Well, I mean, this guy probably. Well, maybe he was, but he was very old.
Okay, Gen X borderline guy.
Gen X borderline.
No,
Gen Z,
not even
fucking-
like he was the previous generation, which the forgotten one.
Oh, well, isn't that? Oh, I don't even know. I know you love the Greatest Generation, so.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're fun people. But yeah, it's like that's how that story. Well, I actually lived that story, and that was a true story about us stealing a car battery, going on ice fishing in this guy's shack, and him getting pissed off.
Goddamn
But,
kids
like,
jacking off my shack again.
no. It was fucking funny. We didn't even catch fish that day. Like we caught a northern that was like too small.
Yeah, too small to keep.
We had to throw it back and like Jesus. But I was sitting on the Game Boy Color, like playing Pokemon Silver.
Oh
You're
God,
dating yourself.
Yeah,
dating
dating
yourself.
myself for
I
sure.
mean, I done the same exact thing. Not gonna lie. So
Yeah,
I've done
Hey,
the same exact thing, but in heat and air conditioning. It's really nice.
Yeah,
I
no,
still
this
actually
means my
have
ass
my
off,
Game Boy
Mary.
Color and my Pokemon Silver. So
Stealing
yeah.
my buddy's car
Silver
battery.
was the best. Silver was the best. Let's
True.
be honest here.
Silver was the
Um,
best. Yeah.
And so
Even 64 games of Pokemon were the best in my opinion, but that's a story for another day.
Yeah, we can argue that another day. Yeah, we can argue that another day. But yeah, this guy like came in like we straight up like fucking the guy I was with straight up stole his fucking car battery out of his garage. And we went down there to like power up the shack.
Yeah. So you have lights and
And-
stuff. Yeah.
So he kept on his ATV, and then my buddy, I just want to name his name. He's like, turn off the lights, and I'm like, okay. So I unclipped the things from the car battery, and he kicks in the fucking door. Literally kicks it in. Where's my goddamn car battery? I was like, I don't know. I'm like laying on the floor like with a line in the lake. He's like, where's my goddamn car battery? I know you guys took it. I'm like, I don't know. And so he like slams the door shut and goes out and starts screaming at the other guy I was with. And the car battery was literally right behind me. When I was saying I don't know. Like it was literally like visibly right behind me. And he was just so pissed. And then yeah.
Could have been like, well, do you have the serial number?
Well, we were like 11 at the time. Like we were kids. And it's like, well, that ain't great. And so yeah, we went to a restaurant and called his parents on the phone there. And had no money. We were super hungry and like had no money, and called his parents, and like it was like a fucking hour to get out there, and then we waited for them there. Got in the vehicle, went back, and that was it.
Fucking car
Fun.
thieves. Car battery
Yeah,
thief.
Car
yeah, it
battery.
was a little bit.
You stole that goddamn poor man's car battery, Mike. How dare you?
Yeah, the car battery. The battery.
Surprised next time you set foot in church, you didn't burst
Oh, by
into
the way-
flames there.
So Dakota, right? You remember Dakota, Devin, right?
Of course I do. How could I not?
Yeah. So he lives in Iowa, and
course
he
he
was
does.
always like, yeah, I've never heard somebody say. And like a couple of years ago, he messages me on Facebook. He goes, I literally had a guy come into the liquor store today and talk about his goddamn battery. And he's like, I did not know you were being serious. I thought you were making this shit up. But
Nope.
he said it, and now I know that it's true. And I'm like,
I mean, you told me that story the first time, and I didn't bat an eyelash because I've heard that before too.
oh, yeah. Where's my goddamn car battery? These fucking northern fucking slime bags.
Oh God.
Well,
It's all
and
the
so
general
it's newer
music.
generation too. Like people are like, "Oh, it's the old timers." No.
It's a lot of young people too.
The
It
young,
really
like
is.
really trashy redneck types. They're like, "Oh yeah, I was out there at a party the other night, and yeah, you know." So let's see. Let's think of a whore's name. You know, Maggie come out here and she is sitting there teasing me the whole
Brittany,
night. And
Mike.
she's
It's always Brittany.
well, it's Maggie, Brittany,
It's
Stephanie
always
is a good
Brittany.
one. You know,
Mm.
and you know Stephanie,
Marianne.
or like you know, like Kendra come up to me and she starts, you know, laying on the moves, and you know, so I go and I go to put my finger down her pants and hit her snatch, and oh gosh, you know, she goes, what the fuck are you doing? And I go, what the hell? You were sitting on my lap, grinding on my dick. And she goes, I'm a lesbian. What the fuck is a lesbian? You know, it's like, it's shit like that. And you're like, oh, fuck, these guys, like, they literally didn't retain anything past second grade.
Well,
Like-
it's those people that are born in a county and then they never have left that county in their entire life.
Well, I was born in this county, but I did leave it.
Yeah, exactly. But you know who I'm talking. You know exactly who I'm
Yes,
talking about.
I know.
The people that live
What county are you from
5
again?
minutes from where they're born and they never leave.
I'm from a county that is in like no other state because it's very, very hard to like find a county named after President Polk.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Jefferson County. No, yeah.
Brian,
You
if
just
you took
told
me
me
seriously,
the county you live in instead of the town you live in. Just saying that.
if you
So
took
you're
me
Southerner?
seriously, like you're fucking retarded. There is a Polk County from
In like every
Wisconsin,
state.
down to Florida and back. There's a trail.
Some say it's the trail of James K. Polk. So
It is funny watching like these people at parties. Like, I mean, back in the day before like the whole Me Too shit happened, it's like these fucking guys are like, I did actually see that on a couple occasions. Like,
yeah,
these guys, like some chick would come and sit on their lap, and I mean, to be fair, like, what are you expecting? Everybody's hammered, and you're sitting on a guy's lap and like grinding on him for a bit.
some
But, like-
dignity and respect, but this is Wisconsin, so we'll go with it.
Right. It's like redneck retards, you know? And so, yeah, they just stick their hand on the chick's pants and like go for it. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Even then, I was like, what are you doing?
What's going on here?
Yeah, there'd always be like a big deal, and like she would flip out, and it's like, well, there were a couple times that happened. Most of the time, it would just go on, and then they would just disappear for half hour, 45 minutes, and it's like, okay. And then like it was funny because like some people that were hosting the party were like, "What bed did you guys fuck on?" We didn't. What? No, it's fine. Like, what bed did you guys fuck on so I could change the sheets? We didn't. It wasn't like we just made out for a bit. It's like, no. What bed?
Seriously,
And,
what bed is wet up there? Like for reals.
Right,
We'll
like,
find out,
and-
you know.
yeah, and so they just want to do the laundry and like.
I've been
like,
there
what
before,
bed-
and it's like, no, there's clearly like, yeah.
Well, yeah, and some people were just like, "Oh, we did it on so and so's bed in this bedroom," and bam, and it was like, "Okay, thanks," and that it was
Thanks.
over. It was like fine.
Yeah.
It's like
Nobody
there's no
gives a shit.
shame.
Stop being- yeah.
No. We can go strip the sheets off and like take the whatever off and like go do the laundry, and that's fine. We can get it'll be done before tomorrow morning. But it's like we didn't, and it's like you did. Like we know you did.
I had a
All right, fine. You didn't have sex. What bed were you in?
I had a buddy of mine when he lost his virginity. He almost got caught by his girlfriend's parents, and they very rushed it, whatever you want to say, and they caught him like walking down the stairs. Like, what were you doing? He's like, we were watching Inside Man. Like, oh, that's a good movie. Fucking-
Wow.
it's like,
I mean,
yeah,
I
that's
actually got
nice.
caught. My mother walked in on us, but I think she was just super surprised I wasn't gay.
this is-
she
I can see that.
Well, let's
wasn't
see,
even
everybody-
mad. She's like, I'm just glad you're not gay.
Well, yeah, maybe short-lived.
That's fair.
You know,
I mean, I
maybe
was pretty flamboyant.
I mean,
in
I was
my
getting pegged.
theater.
I mean, you know.
I like shaved my arms and my legs because I was in swimming and stuff. Like I was like real
yeah.
flamboyant.
Still, I
That's the
think
thing,
I
yeah.
think you might have a bit of that.
Flamboyant still in me, yeah.
Well, I mean, if you're attracted to guys, I don't give a fuck. Like,
I
but,
think it's a
like
Canadian trait.
just be honest
Maybe,
with yourself.
Fair.
you
I mean,
know?
I do have a lot more friends that are women than men, which is, I mean,
Yep.
I don't know why
That
that is,
was-
but like,
that was
The gears
that was
turning.
a very big,
Wait a
very
minute.
big sign.
but I'm not gay, I swear.
It
So
doesn't matter if you are. Like, I don't give a shit.
I mean, it'd probably be a lot better for me if I was in some instances, but I'm not, unfortunately. So
You could, if you were to a gay bar, you could instantly get any guy you wanted. Bam.
easily, I know because I've been to gay bars before. So
Right there, right
You're not
there,
making a
right
case
there,
for yourself.
so
right
hey,
there.
you've been to a gay bar too, Mike. So like, calm down. Calm
Yeah, no,
down.
I like them. I like them because everybody leaves me the fuck alone because
They're
they
so
know.
much more fun. Oh my god.
Yeah, they're great. Like I've been to gay bars and like they leave me alone because they're like, yeah, no way. Like you're straight as a circle. Like, but like I'm still like. But here's the thing: is I love the music they play in gay bars. I love
Oh my
it.
god. And the drinks
it's
they
like-
make. Oh my god.
Oh yeah,
The drinks that the gays make. Oh my god. Oh my god. Are they so good?
Well, no, I actually the last one I was at was a few years ago, and I was like, can I get a what the fuck did we order? Something, and he goes, you don't want that tequila. It's overpriced, and if you get the special tonight, like,
terrible,
you get more
yeah.
liquor.
They're honest with you, though.
And
And
I'm
they're like,
like-
"We'll make you whatever you think's good."
Yep, and I'm like, okay, well, make them, yes. And it was great. They were really nice, and I didn't get hit on, which is fun because usually it's funny because I go to regular bars, like back in the day, I'd get hit on by gay guys, and I'm like, you have gaydar, like what is setting it off? And they're like, well, I just think you're good looking, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
like
Same. I used to
yeah.
get hit
But-
all the time. I'm like, thanks for the compliment. I'm straight,
Yeah,
but I
exactly.
appreciate you.
That's
Yep.
what I said. And it was always good, and like it'd be fine. But like when I go to gay bars, the few times that I have, not that many, like it's not like
Last
I
Friday.
avoid them,
Yeah.
but like it's
Yeah.
just fun because like I don't get hit on, and it's like I'm just there. I'm having.
I was
fun
like, I think
talking to
I've
people.
never been hit on at a gay bar either. So
Mike goes and wears his mask with a hole in the middle of it. Oh yeah, we're going on the gay bar.
Right.
My assless
No,
chaps. Yeah.
No, I actually
Hey man,
feel a
Mad
lot
Max is a
more.
great movie. Fuck you.
Yeah, Mad Max.
I'm gonna wear in the
But no,
desert.
like
my
at gay bars,
assless
like
chaps.
at gay bars, I feel like totally fine. Like it's awesome.
Yeah.
Because
You're
like
awesome.
you know, you can just go there and have fun, and it's like okay, everybody's having fun, and it was fine. Like, yeah, I love it.
They're great. Brian's got to
The
go to
guys
one.
trip-
He's missing out.
We had a guys trip to New Orleans, and my buddy knew the city really well, and we went to the gay district of Bourbon Street. He didn't tell us. He's like, "Oh, I know a great bar." And this was like 2 a.m. after
Yeah.
drinking all day, and it took a few of us a few minutes. Like, wait a minute, there's no chicks here. It's like, wait, this
Yeah, but
pretty
it's still really fun.
It was still a great time,
Hey,
though, wasn't it?
didn't have a bad time, but it was pretty funny. It was just like, oh, I know it's a great place, guys.
Yeah, no, it's great. I've never had a bad experience. I've had a lot of bad experiences at like regular bars,
Exactly.
Dive
Yeah.
and shit. Yeah.
but like gay bars that I've been in, again, a few, not many, so I can't really like make that same judgment. But no, it was great just being in there and just having fun, and I didn't feel like I was being judged by like
No.
anybody.
They're the best.
You know,
freaking
it was
people
like-
to be around. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I was having fun, and the music was great. Like they played 90s like pop
Depeche
that took me
Mode.
back.
Mhm.
And it was like, this is fucking, it's a great song. And they're like, yeah, I love this song too. And I'm like, yeah, it's great.
Wait, are we
And
talking
those-
about the same bar?
Probably not. It was in Minneapolis. You never been there.
I've been to Minneapolis before. That's where I went to a gay bar.
Did you guys meet
Yeah.
at the gay bar?
No.
All makes sense now.
No, we didn't meet in a gay bar.
But no, you didn't go to this one because like it was my buddy Fro that I keep talking about. We would go and like do different.
So you've never been to the gay 90s?
No, not that's in Stillwater.
No, there's another one that was. In
Oh
the
yeah,
city.
there is another one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't there. I was at I was pretty. Wait a second.
Gay
No, I
90s
wasn't
is
the-
awesome.
No, I wasn't the gay 90s. I was at I can't remember the place.
Because when you said 90s
Oh.
music, I'm like, that sounds like the gay 90s.
Right, but it wasn't. It was
Okay.
it was some other thing, and walked in and like there was all guys in there with like a couple of chicks, like fire breathing dykes, which is funny
Yeah.
because they usually don't get along. But like,
There's always a dyke night. Yeah.
and so we went in there and I'm like, oh, it's a gay bar, cool. All right, so we sat on the bar and ordered our drinks, and then that's what he said. Like, nah, you don't want that. You probably want this. I'm like, okay, cool. You're right. And yeah, it was fun.
Fair. I mean, I had a great time. I had some of the best drinks ever. Don't remember what they're called, but they were real bright in color.
Don't remember the whole
Dang.
experience, but
Boy, were they good.
Dude,
I was
Scooby
so
snacks,
beyond-
Scooby snacks,
really put you on
Scooby
your
snacks.
ass.
Are
I
a,
can't do melon liqueur. I can't do melon liqueur. That's too much.
well, Scooby Snack is not just melon liqueur.
I know it's not just melon liqueur, but it's like I can't do melon liqueur. So
Well, if they make them right, they're really good.
they are pretty good, but not a fan of melon liqueur.
So, but yeah, anyway, so that was some of the best times at a bar, like, cause no fights, no.
No, everyone's getting along. And there's no awkwardness. There's no like little cliques. Like everyone is all together.
Right, and I was also the tallest guy there and the biggest guy there, which is fun. Which usually at a regular bar, like you get the like short drunk guy, like completely blacked out, wanting to pick a fight with me because I'm the biggest and tallest guy there. Didn't happen there, and it was
No.
like awesome.
Hmm.
It was like fucking great. And that was with my friend Fro, who I mean he's a big guy, but he's not like super tall, but he's like a big guy and he's got great hair. And they're all like, "Oh my god, like your hair is fantastic." And he was like, "Yeah, it is. It's fucking great." And then yeah, it's just fun. What are you whining about? Can you hear him whining?
Give me love. Mine's snoring.
Yeah,
so.
he's just staring at you.
God, he's a fucking weasel horse. But yeah, we've been going on for
He
2
just
hours.
needs attention, Mike.
We should probably cut her.
Pretty close to it,
Give me
yeah.
love.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. Good Wednesday night shite, peoples.
That's right. It was awesome. meeting you, Brian.
You too.
We'll have to do this again.
And it's
Brian's a piece of
2021, man.
shit.
You can come out of the closet. It's fine.
I'm
Yeah,
very
thank
gay.
you. Thank
There's one
you.
behind
I'm
you.
gay.
You know.
Brian, you're a
Not
piece of
gay.
shit, but I agree with you on that. It's like
I'm not gay.
yes.
You know.
I'm not gay. I wish, like I said, sometimes I wish I was because it'd probably easier life.
Even
But
your mom thought you were, so you know.
There's a lot
that's
of gay
fair.
guys, Kevin. There's a lot of gay guys that wish you were gay.
Think of all the
I know
drinks
there
you
is.
could have
I
that
know
aren't
there is.
piece of
Trust
shit you're
me.
drinking at the beginning of the live stream. No Coke and gin in any gay bar.
Actually, I think the first time I had that was in a gay bar.
No, you probably didn't. You were probably
No,
I think,
no.
actually, it was.
No.
It wasn't that cheaply made though. It was like professionally done. Yeah, with like all the frills and shit, like the lime wedge and stuff.
Mm.
Yep. Oh,
But-
that's true.
Well-
Little umbrella.
Yeah, the cubata. That's what it's called, and it came in like a
Yeah.
martini glass.
Definitely not a gay bar. They wouldn't
No.
have served you that swill. Guaranteed. Guaranteed.
I don't know. I like it. It was good.
Right. We just
Now I'm
gotta-
having a highlight.
Oh,
Live
and
my
with
highlight.
that,
On that bombshell.
ladies, the zero that are watching, and gentlemen, zero who are watching.
And everyone else who's straight as a rainbow or in between.
Straight as a circle.
Then
Well,
you
a
got
circle is pretty straight if you think about it. Like,
straight as a rainbow because that's their symbol.
It's one of those things where perspective matters. If you're in it, it's straight. If you're above it, well, good luck.
all right. Well, with
Oh,
that,
God.
we
With that being
shall
said.
see everybody at a later date.
Peace.